Hello and welcome to The Lab, a Minecraft podcast. Once again, I'm Troj and sort of semi-flying solo today. Miner is taking the week off again, but joining me is the incredible streamer, Linahun. Hey Lena, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, how's it going, Troj? I don't know about incredible, but sure.
Hey, on Twitch Tracker you come up as famous follower, so you must be pretty incredible.
I do?
You didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
If you look at Twitch Tracker, it comes up, it lists down the side who your famous followers are, and you get listed as a famous follower.
Well, I've seen that there's famous followers on my channel, but it doesn't include me. So
Fair enough. Well, congratulations on being a famous follower.
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for following. So that's how I know. But no, welcome to the podcast. You're actually one that I've wanted to get on for a little while. This year, we've sort of taken a move towards getting guests on the regular, just to give a bit of a different voice to things. And yeah, finally, we've been able to sync up, which is absolutely awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So for those that might be listening that don't know you, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
I sure can. Where to start? Linahun is my online name. I've been playing Minecraft since August of 2020.
Really?
I started out on
Is that all?
since 116. That's all.
Well, we started at the same time. Sorry, I thought you'd played for a lot longer.
No, well, the big C and all that. I was
Mm.
looking for something to play because I was home all the time, and my brother was already doing YouTube tutorials for Minecraft, and he'd been part of the Adultscraft network for about a year already because he was one of the original members. And my niece, who I think was, I don't know, maybe 8, 7 or 8 at the time, wanted to play with my brother and I. So I opened up a Bedrock server. Yes, Bedrock. And the 3 of us played for a couple of months, and then I applied for Adultscraft and moved over to Java, and I've never looked back. So yeah, that's about it.
Wow.
Adultscraft is in its 6th season now, so I think we had 1 year where we took a year off. Other than that, it's been pretty steady.
Wow, I
Pretty
did
steady
not
throughout the whole
realize
time.
you were a newbie like me. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's funny though when you think about it, right? I've been playing for 5 years. How
Yeah,
do you consider someone who's been playing for so long a newbie? But it's true.
that's true. Like, actually,
But
after I said
yeah.
that to you, I sort of looked down at the date and I saw it was 2025. And it's like, actually, we've been playing for half a decade, so probably not newbies.
Right?
But it feels like like I feel like I'm new. Like I look at some of the stuff like what you do with your builds and stuff, and I look at this going, that's just I'm so noob compared to what some of these others do. It's just incredible to see.
Yeah, and I feel the same about myself. In comparison to some of the other players that are out there, there's so many amazing builders, redstoners, whatever you wanna call them. Um, and I don't consider myself to be anywhere close to their standards. So, I
So
get it.
yeah, I think everyone compares themselves. It's like human nature, and it's everyone compares themselves to what they do. And we probably shouldn't, but it's you see some stuff sometimes you just go, oh, wow, that's just insane.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's true.
you
It's
mentioned a
true.
few different types of Minecraft there. What sort of do you focus on? Like, how do you see yourself as a Minecrafter?
I keep going back to vanilla-ish. Um, Vanilla plus maybe is a better description for it,
Hmm.
but I also enjoy modded Minecraft. I've played a number of mod packs. Most recently, we played some ATM 10. I've played some Stone Block. I've played Vault Hunters. I've played, various different mom and pop packs. I don't know what you want to call them, where people have made their own packs. Um, but I'm also on the Cozy Core SMP, which was started up in September. It's run by QDV and Lily Mae Darling,
Hmm.
and that one's been a lot of fun. It's a mod pack that they put together themselves.
So is that an ongoing server? Is it, or is it an event? Or
It is an ongoing server. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I think it's expected to be a long-term server, but I don't know, how long that will be.
Mhm.
Um, it's 120. It isn't the most recent version just because of mods being what they are,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's a fantastic pack.
Yeah, nice. I think that's the thing with servers, really. Like, you never know. Like, a world will always start to tell you and give you signs when it's sort of coming towards the end of its life, because a world never lasts forever when it comes to a server. So,
Yeah.
how often do you find it when you? I know you've run a lot of servers and been on a lot of servers. Like, what do you sort of think is like the
Mhm.
average lifespan of a server? You think, you know what? I think it's had a good run.
I think it's entirely dependent upon the people who are playing on the server.
Hmm.
Um, I've been on servers where people will do the first real push to kill the dragon, and then they're done.
Yeah, right. Yep.
I've been on servers where people will continue building for months afterwards. For me, once I've gotten elytra, that's just the start.
Hmm.
To me, that's not the end of it. That's the start of it. So, um, yeah, I really think it depends on the activity on the server and the people that are playing on it and their mindsets. And a server can keep going for months and months versus one where, you've got people who are a little bit more, I don't want to say transient, but they really enjoy the first stretch of the game. Um, getting established, killing the dragon, getting your elytra. If they enjoy that portion of the game more so than once you're fully geared and you can do whatever you want beyond that, I think that will affect the life of the server.
Yeah, that's very, very valid. And I think that really highlights too,
Yeah.
doesn't it, really, like how diverse Minecraft is in terms of the player base and like the sort of the game that it is, that it just opens itself to so many ways to play the game and there's no wrong way to play it.
That is so true. Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely. I have a lot of friends in the creative community too.
yeah, right.
And some people who have never even played on a survival or hardcore server.
Really?
Mhm. Yep.
I think that was one thing for me. Like before I started playing it, like it was my son that got me into Minecraft, and if the regular listeners will have heard this story a couple of times. But he was the one that got me into it, and until that point, I just thought it was a kid's game with bad graphics. And then he sort of introduced it to me, and it's like, whoa! And then I just sort of fell in love with
Mhm.
it, and the whole content creation sphere around it as well. And it's just like whatever you want to do on a particular day, whatever you feel like doing, you can actually just go and do it. Like you don't have to be a redstone, you don't have to be a builder, you don't have to fit a mold. Just be what you want to be on that day.
Yep. Yeah. One of my favorite things to do is exploring. I love
Really?
just boating around or flying around, yeah, and seeing the sights, so to speak.
Do
Seeing what I
you
can find.
do you think that that is one part of Minecraft that could use a bit of a improvement?
Um,
Because
Possibly,
eventually,
but I think it depends on, like, what they're going to be adding into the game. Exploring in the end is maybe a little bit more. I don't wanna well, I suppose you could say dull, but only because you're seeing the same islands over and over and over again, right?
yeah,
There's not a lot
correct.
of variety in what you see.
Yeah,
The cities might be different each time, um,
if you can find one.
but exploring it, yeah, if you
Yeah.
can find one, that too.
Yeah.
But exploring in the Nether, although it's got a little bit more of a danger, tie-in to it, I think exploring in the Nether can be a lot of fun, but I prefer exploring in the overworld because there's some really, really incredible, terrain generation that goes on in the game. Even in vanilla, although I'm a real fan of Terralith,
Mhm.
which is a terrain modification
Yeah.
mod, which makes some really incredible landscapes. Um, but
And
yeah,
the thing I like about
I could just
Terralith
fly
too,
around.
thing I like about
Yeah,
Terralith too is that it doesn't add any blocks. It just uses what is in the base game and just is does it so well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It really does. Yeah. Even
But
creating new biomes.
oh, I know, right? Like some of those, I think it's the
Yeah.
Crimson Peaks or something like that. It's just absolutely stunning from afar. Like to have that in the background, it's just
Mhm.
yeah, incredible. But do you think like
Yeah.
the like exploring in the overworld? Let's talk about vanilla. Like, does it
Mhm.
get a little bit same after a while? Like, there's only limited amount of structures you can discover. You know, landscape, yes, it does vary, but do you think it needs a little something to make more people go adventuring?
I don't know, I think it really depends on your outlook. Um, I could see it being beneficial if they were to add in a few more structure types, maybe expand upon, things like the temples or even the whole pillager part of the game, but even just checking out the terrain for me, even especially the lush caves, I don't know what it is,
Mm.
but I keep getting pulled back into the lush caves no matter what I do. I even built in them on one season of Adults Craft. I did a big Japanese build in one of the lush caves in I think it was season 3. So, yeah, it's I just enjoy it as it is.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the lush caves are
Yeah.
probably one of the like if you find like a really big one, they can be some of the most
Mhm.
spectacular scenery that can get generated. I think they just look so good.
Some of the changes they've made with the cliffs,
Oh,
because
true.
I've seen some spectacular cliffs overlooking oceans. Um, just, hundreds, well, I don't wanna say hundreds of blocks, but tens of blocks stacked straight up and down over the water with this amazing vista from the top.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I enjoy that too.
Yeah, I got to admit, like, I know I'm not the world's best builder, but I probably fall into like the builder category if I was thinking of Minecraft because that's sort of what I do like to dabble with probably the most. And there's just
Mhm.
something sometimes when you are going around a world and you see a spot and you've got nothing in mind, you see a spot and you go, "Well, that would make such a great whatever it is." And you find the inspiration starts, then the ideas start floating into your head, and you start seeing. Well, for me anyway, I start seeing what I could build in my head, and then just the inspiration highway starts, so to speak.
Yes. My struggle is I get this idea in my head, but actually translating it into blocks is something else.
Well, what's your process on that then? Like, how do you get an idea from
Mhm.
inception and then delivering it? What's your process?
Sometimes I'll build in creative and sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just go straight into survival with a thought, with an idea. Um, and it just kind of morphs from there, takes
Hmm.
a life of its own, so to speak. I have done creative building though, like I did for the last season of One Shot. I actually fully built the entire building in creative before building it on the server. But part of the reason for that is that it was a 1 month event and you're really limited as to how much time you have to build.
Yeah,
So you really have to be organized and ready to go from the time the server opens.
yeah, very, very, very fair. And speaking of one
Yeah.
shot and events, you are quite the Minecraft events player too.
I've done a few.
You've done a few. Speaking of a
Yep,
few,
just a few.
just a few, there might be one ongoing at the moment that's a bit interesting.
There is. Yes, yes, there is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's called 9 Lives. And we're in season 4 and you're a part of it as well.
Yes, I was very, very happy to be invited, and thank you for inviting me to that. It's been for the limited time I've been able to get on there because of life. I've had an absolute
Yep.
ball. I really, really have.
I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
really glad.
So, what attracts you to the whole events thing when it comes to like we're talking obviously probably more so for content creators here because Nine Lives is invite only for those wondering, and it's for content creators, particularly streamers,
Mhm.
if I'm correct. What is it
Yes.
that sort of grabs your attention when it comes to events?
Um, Perhaps it's more tied to the reason we started 9 Lives in the first place. Um, it was actually created by Firepower and myself. Firepower used to stream on Twitch. He also used to do some YouTube videos, but I don't believe he is currently active. We were both playing Vault Hunters at the time, and we saw a lot of people who were playing modded Minecraft in really small little groups or by themselves, solo. And there didn't seem to be any kind of crossover, networking, connecting with the other people who are playing. And so we decided, let's create something to bring people together. And it's just kind of morphed into what it is today. We're on season 4. We've taken more of a hardcore direction with it, I guess you could say, as opposed to looking strictly at modded Minecrafters. And this season we've pulled in, well, roughly half of our players play hardcore. And it's created a really interesting mix of content creators, I think. Um, it's interesting to see how they all connect and either come together to work together or even still play solo. Because we gave them that option this season. In the previous 3 seasons, we had teams. This season, we did not. We basically let all of the players decide how they wanted to play, and, it's proven to be quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, the dynamics that I sort of see, 'cause like in terms of events, this is the first competitive event that I've done. Like the other ones that I've done have sort of been
Mhm.
collaborative or just jump on a server and just play for a month and meet new people, that sort of thing. Where
Right.
whereas this one is, you got the whole competition side, and it's interesting to see some of the dynamics there. It's like, and it was not a culture shock to me, but it was like a bit of a, oh, okay. Like you'd run into someone and you talk to them, and it's like you could. Some people have got that whole mind of no, 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 we're competing, so yeah, I'll be friendly, but we're not going to do anything with you. And it's like okay, and then you got the others that say, yeah, let's do this. This is here. This is in this box. Yeah, can you do this? And it's just such a huge boiling pot of just different approaches to it. It's actually incredible to watch.
Yes, it truly is a boiling pot for sure. For me, though, it's an event where it gives you the opportunity to meet other content
Hmm.
creators who love the same game as you and perhaps expand your network, perhaps expand your connections with these other players and allow everybody to grow from, from a perspective of just sharing the game and enjoying it together. Yes, it's a competition, but at the same time that adds another interesting dynamic I think to it that you don't really get anywhere else. Because as you said, most of the events that you go to or most of the servers that you play on are not a competitive nature,
Mm.
except for maybe Last Life or Extra Life,
Yeah,
where
true.
where you're trying to save your lives and people are trying to steal them from you.
Yeah, this is
But
true.
yeah, I mean, even on one shot, yes, it's hardcore, and typically people don't want to see anybody unalive because that means the season is over for them. But there's still a little bit of a competitive nature, I think, on that server.
Oh, really?
Mhm,
In terms
mhm.
of like
Not so
staying
much
staying alive, or
well,
in
staying
like
alive, for one thing.
yeah.
But there's been cases where someone has become unalive through the actions of someone else.
Oh.
Now, whether or not it's been intentional, I can't say. I know in some cases it's been 100% accidental, and the person who caused the death in the first place has felt extremely bad about it. But there's been other cases where it appears to be deliberate, but you can't say for certain. So, yeah,
I suppose you can't help that human intuition sometimes, in that the competitive nature takes over sometimes.
it really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
I think that's the one thing that I like, really event wise. This is sort of the first year this year where I've sort of gone, let's try and expand outside of the Interrealms network and try and meet new people and sort of, as you say, network. So I've only really
Mhm.
started this year on that. And the few events that I've done, the one thing that I've taken from it is, as you said, it's the meeting the other people that have got a similar mindset to you. Like I did YOLO
Yes.
Craft a few months ago, and the people that I met on there, some of them become like really good friends with now. Like we're talking every day, that sort of stuff, and like integrating into other communities and whatever. That I think is probably the one of the best things is of events is meeting people you don't usually play with on the daily. and seeing how they operate, how they make their content and what they do, and it's sort of inspiring in that way. And it's sort of for me coming into Nine Lives again. Thank you. I'm actually very honored, but it's just like
You're welcome.
at that launch, at the launch day there, I was standing there and I'm going, oh, there's that. There's, oh, wow. And I was like, do I actually belong here? Like, it was a little bit daunting. Like, and you all knew each other. You all had the in jokes going on. And it's like, this is going to be interesting. But it's like, I've fallen into a nice little
Mhm.
group there. Like, Aggro sort of dragged me, Aggro Ninja dragged me into a little collabing working group, and it's like getting to know those guys. And and then last night I was on, a few people came by and said hello because obviously I haven't had a lot of time because of like real world drama that sort of hit me in October.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was like feeling generally welcomed, which was really nice to see.
And that's what I like to hear because that's the whole intent behind the event, honestly. I've seen some people who have played throughout the seasons who have seen some incredible growth with their content creation career, which ultimately is what I'd like to see. I'd like to help people grow and achieve whatever goals they set for themselves. And by holding this event, I think I'm contributing in a way that is meaningful and helpful to others. So, yeah, as long as it's an event that people still want to compete in or to play on, then I'm all for it.
Oh, look, I think for the way I see it, and it maybe not be right, I don't know, but I see Nine Lives as one of the top streamer events out there. Like it was always one when I'd learnt about it. It was always one I was like, one day. Like there's a couple, there's a couple that it's like one day, and Nine Lives was always one that was like one day, and might be letting the cat out of the bag to the listeners, but I actually applied for season 3, didn't I, Lena?
You did.
I did, and I didn't
You
make
did,
it.
yeah.
So I think that's one thing. Like one thing that I'm getting asked this year by a lot of like the smaller creators in Interrealms is like, how are you getting on these events? And it's like, well, one thing you got to take into is you can apply for events. It doesn't guarantee you're going to get on them. Like just because you know the people and you might be friendly with them, it doesn't guarantee you getting onto the event. So it can be a little bit disappointing sometimes when you get excited for something and it doesn't happen. But I think, you know, coming around to this event, World 4, and I was like, Troj, do you want to be on it? It's like, yes, thank you. Never give up. Like, don't give up on like, if you've got a goal to make it to one of these events or something like that, like, don't give up. Just like keep plodding along, do your thing, and it'll happen eventually.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think it's important to create those connections too with the people who are either playing on the server or organizing the event. Because if they can see that you are, following down a path that's leading towards goals that you've set for yourself, and if playing on a server like this is one of your goals, you need to make sure that people are aware of it. Because if they don't know that it's one of your goals to play on an event server like this, then you're not even gonna be considered, right?
Hmm.
Because there's so many people who want to play, and as an organizer, that's one of my struggles, is being able to pick the people that will play on the server, knowing I'm gonna have to say no to some people,
Yeah.
and, that's the hard part, it really is. Um, I had to say no to some people this season that had played in previous seasons as well, which was very difficult because I did wanna take it in a direction where we could bring in some other players who hadn't played before, and you can't have hundreds of people playing on a
Hmm.
server like this.
Yeah.
It would be so laggy that nobody would be able to get anything done,
Yes,
and I
definitely.
knew I had to cut back the numbers too from last season, because last season, each team had their own private dimension where they could have all of their entities. And we weren't doing that this season. Everybody's in the same overworld, so I knew that we were gonna have to make some adjustments to accommodate for lag, but it's hard. It's really hard saying no to people.
I think that's one
If I
thing
didn't have
that,
to do that,
yeah.
I'd be happy.
Well, but it's right though. Like, not you can't just open the doors and take everybody in because, as you said, like there's limits that any server can handle. and you got to take that into
Mhm.
account. And I think, like, I've not organized an event as big as and well known as Nine Lives, but I'm one of the main ones with Interrealms, and even though that's a like a long term let's play world as opposed to a an event. So the amount of things
Yeah.
you've got to take into account as an organizer or manager of these things is sometimes I think the player bases don't quite understand it or quite get it. And the decisions you have to make sometimes, like running these events and these servers, might seem strange to some, but there's always a reason for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
I
usually
think
around
too the
lag.
difference between well, yeah, definitely. Um, I think the main difference between an event server and a long running SMP is the timeline. It is far more condensed. You've got a shorter period of time to get everything organized at the start. It only runs for so long, and you have to be on top of your game for that period that the event is running.
Hmm.
And then there's the short downturn at the end of the event when everybody goes through that bottom of a change curve, because the event has ended. And there's all kinds of emotions that come out of that too. But it's in a very condensed time frame. Like you're talking a 3-month time frame versus, I don't know, a year time frame if you have an SMP that runs for a 1-year season.
Mm,
And generally on an SMP, you've got months in advance that you can plan, before you actually open up the SMP, right?
yeah.
So it's far more condensed. Yeah.
How long were you planning for this season of Nine Lives? Like, obviously, like I get to see a little tiny bit from behind the scenes, obviously being on the player base, and you're sort of looking at it, like I can see there, like, there must have been so much work that went into it before we even got dropped onto the server. How long in advance of this season were you actually working on it?
I'd say we probably started working on it in June because we wanted to change, the advancement pack itself that we'd been using. In the previous 3 seasons, we used the Blazing Caves advancement pack, and this season, we took a good chunk of the advancements from Blazing Caves, but we also took advancements from 2 other, packs. One was an extreme pack, one was a torturous pack. And we also took advancements that had been suggested by viewers and players from previous seasons. And I was blessed to have Vinny Anderson working with me on this because he's done a lot of the grunt work, a lot of the leg work to get this pack together. And we're still having some challenges with it because we're on a paper based server. And if you're familiar with how Minecraft functions, paper based servers and certain functions within Minecraft do not go well together.
Hmm.
And so turning something like, a time-based advancement into or a time-based activity into an advancement is not gonna work well on paper, unfortunately. Um, but we started back in June. I put out feelers in July for players, and Vinny and I have kind of been working on the pack through that entire time. September was crunch time, though, because we knew we had to get everything up and running and be prepared for October. And we generally like to give the players a full month in advance of the start,
Hmm.
because they need to do things from their end, like getting overlays going, getting their instance together, all of those things, all the questions they might have about the event. We want to get those sorted out as well beforehand. And so, yeah, it's months in advance.
Yeah.
It's got quite a time frame.
Well, I was gonna say, like, when you said, was it June?
Mhm.
Yeah, like, yeah, my mind went, wow, that's a lot of work in like a very small time frame to get ready for October launch. Like, that's impressive. But you got a good team behind you too.
I'm very blessed with the team that we've had. Yeah, especially this season. Vinny came on board this season. He was actually one of the players last season, and he learned to do the advancements when he was playing on. I think it was when he was playing on Guild Rush. To be honest. Um,
Yet another event server.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
another event server. So on Guild Rush, they had a custom dungeon that had been built. and there was some custom things tied to trial chambers and all of that, and Vinny learned a lot of the behind the scenes stuff during that event, and so was able to take it and kind of run with it to, help us with 9 Lives.
Very
So,
good.
I'm really grateful for all of his help because he's the one who's even got our website up and running, so
And
he's been fabulous.
if anyone does want to check out that awesome website, it's 9livessmp.com.
That is correct, yep,
Oh, pulled
with
that
9
one out.
being the number 9.
Yes, 9 being the number 9. But no, you can check on there, you can, check the leaderboards, in real time, which is really awesome. You check out the 9 Lives merch as well, and, if you wanna buy a Troj mug with, 9 Lives logo, feel free, or a Lena mug. That well, I got
And
a
there's
warm
even
I was gonna say, I got a warm,
I was
fuzzy
just gonna
feeling
say
seeing that there was official 9 Lives merch, like, with my thing on it. It's like, that's pretty cool. So
oh, that is cool. Yep, there's more coming too. I've been working on getting magnets and stickers going too for each of the participants, so it'll come before the end of the month.
watch
It's
this
just a
space.
time-related activity, you know?
Yeah, time, isn't that a wonderful commodity? But one
It
it
is,
is.
especially when you're working full-time on top of it all.
Yes, because 'cause you're not a full-time content creator, are you?
I'm not,
No.
no.
I
No,
mean,
I work full-time and then I do content creation on the side.
looking at your hours spent on 9 Lives, though, one could be forgiven for thinking that you were a full-time content creator.
I do a lot of AFKing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. One question that I know a lot of the smaller interrealms players that are sort of coming up and trying to find their way in the world, they'd probably shoot me if I didn't ask this question of you, particularly. So, how, and I know you sort of touched on it before, but maybe we can deep dive it a little bit more. If someone was interested in getting it out there more, knowing that they want to be involved with events and get invited to events, what would be your little bit of advice to them on, how to sort of get noticed?
One thing that I always tell content creators who are trying to move forward is to make sure that you are consistent in what you're doing, whether that's your schedule, whether that's how you treat your viewers, but it's also tied to what you're doing in other streams. You have to get yourself out there. You need to be seen. And the best way to do that is to spend time in other streams. Let the other content creators get to know you. Um, even, I mean, whether it be raiding into them or actually spending active time participating in their chat and being there while they're streaming. It's basically a form of networking, right?
Mm,
But you need to get known. So you have to spend the time doing that. And when I started, I was blessed because I was a moderator in Princess Lissy's chat, and I spent a lot of time in her chat. And when I started streaming, she came and supported me full force and brought all of her viewers with her. And as a result, I was able to get affiliate within a week of my first stream.
mm,
And it's just kind of been, the same thing ever since. But when I sat down and decided I was actually going to do this, I planned ahead. I had emotes ready to go a month in advance. I had a stream schedule set from the very beginning. And the only thing that I've changed to my stream schedule since then is I added a day. I was streaming Friday, Saturday, and I think it was Wednesdays to start with, and I added in Tuesdays after. And I've been consistent throughout except for when I've been ill or away for whatever reason. And I think that more than anything has helped me because people know when to find you. If you're streaming once in a blue moon or you're streaming Monday this week, Friday next week, people don't know when to find you. And so that's not going to help build a viewership um as quickly as you might like. It's going to take much longer time. So, I mean those are generally the things that I suggest other than just be a nice person.
yeah.
You know? That honestly goes a long way. If you go into someone else's stream and you're misbehaving all the time, that's not going to get you anywhere because This community it's got feelers everywhere. And if you are a, a person that people don't want to have in their stream, they're going to spread that information.
Hmm.
It happens, right?
Yeah.
Especially with people sharing ban lists,
Yeah. Yeah. And
right?
I think that's the
So,
thing. It's a big community, but it's also really
mhm,
small at the same time. Like news
that
spreads,
is true.
word gets around.
Yeah.
Everyone sort of knows everyone. Someone's connected one way or the other. And I saw that at PAX here in Australia a couple of weekends ago. That
Mhm.
people knew me. I had no idea who they were, but they knew me. And I was like, what? And it's like, yeah, word gets around. Word does travel. I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't take into account is, and it's probably one thing I've actually never heard anyone say, like in advice when I've asked that question, is be a nice person because word does spread.
I think it just helps to support, the other content creators that you enjoy spending time with,
Well,
because that's going to make them feel better about everything and they're going to want to return the favor.
well, I guess that's what we're here for at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, it's always good to see someone
Mhm.
else have success. Yes, you might want success yourself and you want to grow, but it's always good seeing someone else get it up. And I think that's um, what it should boil down to at the end of the day. Like, we as creators don't have to compete against each other because there's plenty of viewers for everybody. There's plenty of support for everybody. And if we all grow, then it's good for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's more important to celebrate and to lift people up than it is to be negative in any way, form, any shape or form. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's I think I think that's the key takeaway from everything is just lift up, not put down.
exactly.
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 Well, speaking of nice people, Lena, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. It's, as I said, you're one that I've wanted to have for a little while on my list, and I'm just glad that it's sort of lined up now.
Well, thank you. Thank you for making me feel famous enough to be on a podcast because this is a first for me. So
Really? Well, I
it
mean,
is. It is. I really appreciate it.
if Twitch has you listed as a famous follower, then you must be famous enough for a podcast.
I guess I'm still a little bit skeptical about that, but sure, sure, I'll agree with you.
I'll send you a screenshot. It clearly says it. But no, look, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. And obviously, again, publicly, thank you again for the invite to Nine Lives. I've absolutely loved it and would love to come back for season 5. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Um, but if people do want to check you out, I think you're predominantly on Twitch. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where will people go to find you?
Linahun. That's it.
Yeah, it's a nice simple one,
Just
guys. Like it's
Linahun.
not a complex one, this one at all. So yeah, definitely go
It's
check
not. It's
Lena out.
not.
Really, really good vibes. Cozy vibes, good laughs, and yeah, I'm often lurking in Lena's streams more so than being like overly active. But yeah, it's always a good stream to be in for sure. But Lena, again, thank you for joining us on the podcast, and yeah, hopefully we can have you on again in the future down the line.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much, Troj. I really appreciate this.
My absolute pleasure. And listeners, until next time, if you are listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to head on down below, hit that subscribe button. We are now over 100 subscribers thanks to the PAX episode. So thank you so much. And if you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple, Audible, or any of the other places you can find podcasts, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. It helps out very, very much. But Lena, we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you, Troj.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
This has been a production of the Inner Realms Podcast Network. For more information, go to podcast.innerrealmssmp.com. You can see the full link in the description of this episode. Thank you for listening.